Take a look at this. When you think of old cemeteries, this is definitely the type of thing you would think of. Right now we are in Micanopy, Florida. This is Micanopy Historic Cemetery. And when they say historic, they mean it. This place has been around for a long, long time. Micanopy is not a very well-known town here, but it is one of the oldest inland towns in America. And there is a lot of history here. Cornelia Hortense, wife of J.F. Bruton, 1862 to 1914. That is a beautiful tombstone. Stuff like this is always really intriguing because not only do you not know what you're going to find, you don't know who's laid to rest here, but this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and you never know what kind of wildlife is going to jump out and try to bite you in the keister either. There's a really old, aged and weathered bench here. Well, in this video, we'll just walk around a little bit. We'll check out the cemetery, because that's what we do. If you are new and this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome. If you enjoy cemeteries, we go all over the country, check out famous graves, celebrity grave sites, presidents' grave sites, a little bit of everything, and then we just like the occasional historic cemetery walk. We like to honor those who lived before us, and everybody has a story, whether we know it or not. Everybody deserves to be celebrated. Dr. H.L. Montgomery, February of 1876 to June 1924. It's not a very long life. Harvey Montgomery Sr., Lieutenant, 1910 to 1972. Zoom in there. U.S. Navy, World War II, Korea. Service to our country. This is an interesting plot. There's Joseph Walter Montgomery, U.S. Navy, Vietnam War. Passed away in 2002. Loved by all who knew him. Now, this is beautiful. Now, a lot of times you can tell a decent amount about people, who they were, what they were like, by looking at their grave marker. This has some beautiful band of wedding rings here, heron. Always together. Married, it looks like May 13th, 1940. It's kind of strange thinking that, everybody here has met their demise already, but we all will at some point. Some people, that's a sad thought. To others, mildly refreshing. This is Aline E. Knox, June 30th, 1936, aged 74 years. I never understood why they put on the stones aged 74 years. A lot of times that kind of reminds me of like when you go to a restaurant and you order aged beef. I don't know, I'm sure back in the day when they did this, that was the furthest thing from their mind. And maybe that's a little creepy, but this is beautiful here. It says, cheerful, he gave his being up and went to share the holy rest that awaits a life well spent. That's awesome. Grace Knox over here. Born March 21st, 1896. Transplanted February 11th, 1907. Never heard that one before, transplanted. I like that. It says, God needed one more angel child amid his shining band. There really is something beautiful about death and cemeteries. So whether this is your first time viewing this channel or not, let me know in the comments section. 1, do you visit cemeteries? 2, if you do, what is your favorite cemetery that you've ever visited? Because I also like to know which ones I haven't been to that I should visit and bring you along with me. This one, maybe it shows up on camera a little bit better, but I cannot read this one. Looks like Mrs. Elizabeth. One's really hard to make out. Edward Henry Stoughton. Died 1857, 2 years and 6 months old. People really didn't live long lives back then for the most part. If you made it into adulthood, you could consider yourself very lucky. James Henry Harrison in here. January 8th, 1949 to September 5th, 1894. You notice some of these are very overgrown. But that's part of the charm and appeal. Zoom in on that one there for you. Some of these might be a little bit easier to read on camera than they are trying to read them in person. I see something up here that looks, it's kind of catching my eye a little bit. This is Susie E. King. Looks like they've had some visitors. Somebody left some fruit, bunch of shells. Susie E. King, August 27th, 1885 to September 22nd, 1897. Looks like people have left a lot of different things in here. Some rock art. This must be the most heavily visited grave here. Maybe there's some haunted legend or lore along with this. If anyone watching this is from the area and knows anything about this one, please let me know in the comments too. I love learning about the people and their stories. So if you know anything about that, please let me know. It's very intriguing. Dr. William Dunbar Sutherland. This just looks like such a peaceful place. I mean, you can hear a lawnmower from one of the properties a little bit back the other way, but you can hear a lot of wildlife too. Just absolutely love it. I always thought living by a cemetery would be kind of neat, if for no other reason, just because your neighbors are not going to bother you. The best neighbors are dead neighbors. Might be a little bit of a twisted joke there, but not entirely wrong. If you visit the cemetery, it says you can park back here. This one over here looks interesting as well. It says B and C, 1974. It says plant. Get a shot of that there. Plant wildflowers. Claudia Annette Larson. I'm assuming she would still be with us. There's no date of death there. This would be a nice way to be remembered. Although I would definitely feel bad sitting on it. Try to not get picked off by a buzzard here. Now this is what old school Florida looks like. A lot of people come down to Florida and they see the beaches, the palm tree lined streets, all that kind of stuff. This is the real Florida. The trees with the Spanish moss. You can find a lot of that in Central Florida. Just beautiful. Willie Edwards, 1860 to 1868. Now, just putting this into perspective, half of his life, he only lived to be 7 years old, but half of his life was during the Civil War. Lincoln's presidency, Andrew Johnson. The world was very, very different. No TVs, no cars, no cell phones. Get around by horse and buggy. No indoor plumbing. Would have been a pretty wild time. Go back and check this out. J.B. McCullum, born Valentine's Day, 1849. Died December 16th, 1884. Now, one of the interesting things about cemeteries is that if you ever visit one and you're curious about who people are, if you've never explored the website findagrave.com, a lot of those people will put obituaries and biographies of these people. So you can kind of get an idea for who they were, what they did in life, what kind of careers they had, and all that kind of stuff. It's really fascinating. You can learn an awful lot about people. Edward Cooper Chitty, 1845 to 1917. Mary Ann, wife of V.C., 1848 to 1919. Just a beautiful cemetery. Try to keep the bugs off me here. But those of you that watch these videos, thank you very much for that. It's always nice to share some history with people that appreciate it. History is important, even though they tell you these days that it really isn't. This looks interesting up here. Like Harvey Alustin, Bruton Jr. Wow. He lived 1 year and 2 months. It's a very small plot. Now, I would think that it would be really difficult to not only lose one child, but if you imagine how the family dynamics worked in the 1800s, some people had 4, 5, 6 children, and maybe they would be lucky if one of them made it to adulthood. I mean, that's a lot of tragedy and heartbreak. You know, not a lot of advances in medicine. Very different times. But a very cool cemetery. Realistically, you could probably spend all day here. But the Micanopy Historic Cemetery. Oh, there's a squirrel right above my head. There's Lester Lindberg Burch, 1930 to 1942. Looks like people leave things for him too. It's a baseball, shell, yo-yo, Mardi Gras beads. There's some marbles. A toy truck. Take you over here, and I love some of these, how they show pictures. That is really tragic how some people never get a chance to live and see adulthood. It's kind of hidden by some brush, but we're going in. Micanopy Cemetery Association, organized 1905. Charter members: Mr. E.C. Chitty, we saw him. Feasters. Yeah, the town has a lot of pride in this place. And if you want a little extra added history, if you are a fan of the actor River Phoenix, who passed away in 1993, he was a huge star, and he was set to become probably one of the biggest stars on the planet. But he actually had a family farmhouse, or I don't even know if you could call it a farmhouse, but he had a family place about 2 miles down the road this way. And that's actually where he was brought after he passed away. He was cremated, and they sprinkled his ashes in the back of the property on the lake, right around a tree. But it was thought for a little bit that he might have been buried here in this cemetery, but he was not. So a little bit of Hollywood trivia with that. But just take a look at this. What a beautiful cemetery. You just really can't get enough of this. Or at least I can't. Well, I suppose that's probably going to do it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you watched the whole thing all the way through, let me know in the comments section if you like the longer videos. Let me know that too. I will do more. It seems like most of the views come from the shorts, which is understandable. It makes it to the shorts feed. A lot more people see them. But if you enjoyed this, let me know. Give it a thumbs up. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to post more and more on this channel now, and I'm going to be hitting the road again before too awful long to do more stuff in Los Angeles, Hollywood, a lot more presidential grave sites, and a lot more Hollywood and notable names. But we'll always be doing cemetery walks. So, thanks for joining today. Have a great day, and we'll catch you later.